The running game. I think the Niners have a really good running game. I think this running game is terrific. And if Trey Lance were the full-time quarterback, I think they could lead the league in rushing. You saw what his presence on the field did. I mean, Mostert was getting like 4 or 5 yards a carry. All of a sudden, Trey Lance is in the game and hands off in 17 yards, 26 yards. It just seems like if you do plays where Lance is in the gun and you have Mostert running to the outside or Deebo Samuel coming in a jet sweep to the outside and Lance either handing it off and faking running up the middle or keeping it and running up the middle, you're making Mostert even better because Mostert is the fastest running back in the league. And to stop him on the outside run, the linebackers have to start flowing that direction, but they can't if Lance is in the pistol handing it off. They have to stay right there because Lance is just as big of a threat running the ball as Mostert. So they're stationary while Mostert's getting handoffs to the outside, and all of a sudden, what was a 6-yard run is now a 17-yard run. And it's not just like Mostert and Lance. I mean, Sermon looks really good. Mitchell looks really freaking good. Hasty looks amazing. They have 4 running backs that look like they could start for teams. And then they also have Wayne Gallman, who's a proven player. It'd be interesting if the Niners keep 5 running backs. No one does it. But what's the point of keeping, let's say, 6 wide receivers on a team that's definitely going to run the ball 60% of the time, 65% of the time? Why do you need 4 backup wide receivers when you're going to be in 2 tight end sets most of the time anyway? You're going to be in 2 wide receiver sets most of the time. You go 3 wide receivers on 3rd down. Usually that 6th wide receiver is Richie James Jr., who's a returner. You don't need him. The returner should be Elijah Mitchell. You don't need a 6th wide receiver. And on a team that had a bunch of injuries at running back last year, you need as many healthy bodies at that position as possible. So if they keep Gallman and Hasty and Mitchell and Sermon and Mostert, I'll say, hey, good. At least you're never going to have a game where you have to start Jerick McKinnon this year. So I think the Niners' run game is going to be really good with Trey Lance. With Jimmy Garoppolo, it'll be good. With Trey Lance, it'll be the best. That's the way I see it. So that's definitely something to be encouraged about. It's a run-first team, and I think the run game is going to be the best they've ever had on this team. I don't want to make any big statements about the defense on a day that they face Nathan Peterman. Nathan Peterman is the worst quarterback in the NFL. I don't know how he's still in here. So I'm not going to make any big statements about them, but I think this running game is the truth. And it's going to look really good, and it's going to keep the Niners competitive because it'll help the quarterbacks. They won't have to do much. It'll help the defense because it'll keep them off the field. It'll keep the Niners competitive this year. If they didn't have this running game, I don't know what they would have. But the running game should make them a playoff team. So that's, to me, the most positive takeaway from this game. They can really run the ball. They're like 5 deep at running back when they were not deep at all at that position last year. That's good. So good for the 49ers that they have some. I think Trey Sermon looks really good. I've been waiting to see something from him. You cannot judge a running back in camp. You can't. There's no tackling. The first preseason game, he just got. There was nowhere for him to go. He was playing with backups against a starting defense. This game, he looked really good. So very encouraging. Tobin says, I'm getting bad vibes from George Kittle. Honestly, he really doesn't seem to have Lance back at all. I agree. I think this team is very cliquey. It's, they love each other, win or lose. They're a tight-knit group no matter what. And now you bring in a new guy who's supposed to just take over. I think they have a problem with it. All Kittle says is he's 21. Every time he's asked about Trey Lance, he's like, oh, yeah, he's really impressive for a 21-year-old. Sometimes I forget he's 21, but he's 21. All the time. I think this is a problem. 29-year-olds not wanting to give a 21-year-old his shot. At least yet. It's a problem. Because it's not their freaking call. George, it's not your decision. Jonathan says, Jimmy and the Niners are not going to beat Tampa. Not a team not going all the then play Trey. Yeah, are the Niners as good as Tampa? No. Are the Niners as good as Green Bay? No. Are the Niners as good as the Rams? Maybe. Maybe the Niners are the 3rd best team in the NFC. Maybe. But until they get like one quarterback who's good, I don't think they're as good as the Packers. I think the Niners would have a lot of trouble with the Bucs defense. Forget the Bucs offense with Tom Brady. The Bucs defense would give Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance a lot of problems. That's all I'm saying. Hasty looks like Baby Marshawn. That's what I've been saying. Mini Marshawn. Mini Marshawn. RWJ all day says Trey is starting. Kyle said he hopes the team trusts his decision. That explains why Kittle seems upset. He feels like Jimmy's getting screwed. Well, good for you, Kyle. But again, if this is your way of preparing Trey Lance to start, how is this the best way to do it? You haven't really created a ton of confidence within the locker room, within the fan base, and he never got to start any preseason games, but you're going to start him week 1. Why? To troll people? I don't think you did a great job of preparing Lance or either quarterback. I don't think you did a great job preparing a quarterback to be your starter this year, Kyle. I don't think you did, but I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. I'm usually wrong. Tony says, what? Oh, yeah, let's not forget that Jeff Wilson Jr. comes back midseason too. True. That is true. That is very true. Grant, be honest, you were a Niner fan 25% of the time. I was a Niner fan growing up. I was a Niner fan from 1994 to like 2010. I'm not a Niner fan anymore. I think most people understand that I really don't get upset when they lose. But the team means a lot to me. I've followed them my whole life. I think they should be good. I hold them to a high standard. And when they fall beneath it, it pisses me off. Not because I'm rooting for them, because I just think they're an important franchise that should do better. But I don't know. Maybe that's being a fan. Oh, yeah. Somebody owes their dad a bottle of wine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a good one, too. I'll let you guys know what it is. I'm going to get him something real special. Hasty's a beast. Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. Hey, guys, I appreciate you guys listening to my negative rant after a preseason game. I know it's not the time, but it's just who I am. And I know you guys understand that it's just what I do. So I had to get this off my chest. I express myself the only way I know how. Vish will bring me back to earth tomorrow. That's what he does. Trey says hardest decisions will be at the running back and defensive line. They cut any player at those positions. They won't get them on the practice squad. Keep all. That's what I'm saying. You cut Hasty, gone. Cut Mitchell, gone. Gallman, gone. Keep them all. You need the running backs. You don't need 6 wide receivers. You're not going to throw that much. Alex says Juszczyk's new contract makes no sense with Trey running the read option. The whole idea is you don't need the fullback to get the same numbers game. Ooh, that is a great point. So they spent this money on the fullback that's not really super necessary with a read option quarterback. They signed Nate Sudfeld, who's not a read option quarterback. But they want you to think that they wanted Trey Lance all along. I don't freaking buy it. Prove me wrong, Kyle. Great comment. That's why you spent $8 instead of $5, because you knew you had something to say that was money. I love that. That was really good. That was really smart. In fact, let's read it again, because I thought it was so. That's an $8 comment if I've ever seen one. Hold on. Alex says, Juszczyk's new contract makes no sense with Trey running the read option. The whole idea of a fullback of the read option is you don't need the fullback to get the same numbers game. That's true. Everything about this offseason has reinforced the reports that Kyle Shanahan didn't want Trey Lance at first. I know he said that he was drawing up plays for Trey Lance after he left Justin Fields. That's a bizarre report, too, because, Justin Fields is pretty good. He's ready. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay. Look, I'm not trying to be too negative here. I just feel that Kyle responds best when I go on these rants. So he has some things he can improve, and I think he definitely will because he's watching this live right now. Hey, Kyle, how you doing?